Okay, guys, I'm going to walk through some of the things that Fierce Links can help you actually collect analytics that are important to any marketing campaign of selling a particular product or service. And today we're going to be talking about the actual Fierce AI. So it's located at fierceai.io. You can actually go in and be an affiliate to us. We pay 30% commission on that, and here is your affiliate URL. So whoever clicks on your affiliate link and actually pays for a subscription, you can actually make 30% of that each month. So, and Fierce AI does have pricing plans. You can look through them, and this is what you'd be doing. So you would be getting 30% of $29.95 if they go with the enterprise plan. So just to let you know, definitely always make sure that you are using your affiliate link properly, and always use your affiliate link. Don't just directly bring them to the site, because we won't be able to pay your commission on there. So we do pay our 30% commission. So first step in any selling of any product or service, you want to make sure that you know about that product or service. And what I like to do is I like to take 3 key points of the product or service, which we're going to talk about this platform, fierceai.io, and you want to know that at least 3 things that you want to choose that you're going to focus on. For instance, if it's image generation, this AI does generate images. We also have templates that help people do marketing, general writing for e-commerce, things like that. We also have a chat bot, so you can actually chat to OpenAI, ChatGPT, or use our own neural framework called Intelligent Mind, and this is, of course, IM1. That's in there. So the other one is either speech to text or text to speech, whichever you want to choose, or you can even go to the code writer. We do have a good code writer here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on the image generation, which is pretty hot right now, and the AI chat and the speech to text. So those are the 3 things that I'm going to concentrate on. You could add images just depending on what people are using, right? And you want to kind of know your product, not only know your product, but also know the market. What are people using these tools for? So this is an AI tool, of course, and you want to know and learn just as much about that as possible, just in case you get asked some tough questions. So once you know your product and you know the services that you're going to target, that you're going to put out there, you want to try to connect that product or service to the people that need it. You don't want to be pushing this on people that aren't going to use the tool. Okay, you want to actually find that mutualism between your clients and yourself. All right. So in order to do that, one of the best ways that I like to use is I like to actually go to the social, either Facebook and LinkedIn, which are definitely the ones that we use in here. So whenever you go Facebook and LinkedIn, we'll have a link, and we'll definitely show you here in just a moment. So what you want to do is you want to find the people that are interested in what it is. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to actually find your groups to join. Now, this might take a little bit, and so we know that we're going to be selling intelligent or artificial intelligence. So we'll just do artificial intelligence, and we'll just go ahead and we'll actually search for artificial intelligence tools. Okay. So when you're doing the group, when you're looking through groups like on Facebook or LinkedIn, which we'll do here in a minute, you want to join groups that actually is based on what you're trying to sell. Like artificial intelligent tools is really good. So you can actually look through your groups and find out, you're wanting to look at how many members, how many posts they're doing a day, and do they actually allow you to post. So you're going to want to look at these groups. So we can open up that link and go to this group and just kind of find out. So anyone can see who's in the group and what they post. So you can post in this group. So we're just going to go ahead and join this group. Since this is a public group, we're just going to go ahead and join that. And that's the Artificial Intelligence Revolution. So that's a good group to be in. So we can go to our groups and we can go to our groups. So this is the one that we had, right? So what I'm going to do, first of all, whenever I join that group, I'm actually going to get involved, right? I'm going to go in there. I'm not just going to go and start posting a bunch of links and advertising myself. That's pretty selfish, right? You want to get in there and you kind of want to find the top poster, right? So you can, sometimes it'll actually even say the top contributor, right? So this right here is the top contributor. Of course, this is probably the person that actually created this group. So these are, so you want to kind of go in there and you want to kind of, put yourself in that group. Find out what the group's about. Don't just go in there and throw a bunch of stuff. It seems like people are submitting, it's okay to submit AI generated images, which is right in line with what you're doing. Jobs, they're talking about jobs created by AI, things like that. So you just kind of look through here on the last few posts, like, one day ago, up to like 1 week ago or so, and just find out, what is the activity of that group? How can you use what you're trying to, your service or product, how can you benefit these users? Okay, that's the best way, right? So once you get that locked in, you're going to do the same thing to LinkedIn, all right? So you're going to look at your intelligent or artificial intelligence, right? I always say intelligence because intelligent mind. So artificial intelligence, and you can say tools, right? And this will actually do the different, you can look at your groups, right? And here are some of the groups. So again, you want to do the same thing. Look at the members, go actually in the group to make sure that it's something that you do and you can post in that group. Make sure that you can post in that group because you're going to be using your tool to actually make posts in those. So you want to go in there, you want to join, you want to get involved in the group. So you only need like 3 or 4 groups that you can be actively participating in. You actually want to produce a value. You want to give value to these groups, right? So that might take a week to a month or whatever. This isn't something really super fast, right? It's something that you want to actually take the time to develop rapport with the group members. And there's 339,000, you're not going to get them all, but pick a few that, that you can find that mutualism with. Start talking about AI, things like that. Start talking about the product, but you don't need to mention the product right at first, right? So we're going to kind of move into that, all right? So it's not a rush, and nobody likes somebody who's in there just thinking about themselves, right? They don't want to just hear from you particular, right? So let's actually go back to LinkedIn. So that is definitely something that you want to do, right? So I have that in my tabs. There's my product tab, and then we're going to go back to Fierce Links itself, okay? So when you go into Fierce Links, of course, if you're at the front page, you're wanting to go into your dashboard, and then we're going to go out there and actually get some articles and information that can actually be posted to these groups that will actually benefit the members of the group, okay? One of the best ways to do this is actually get your tool, and it's called a bookmarklet tool. And all you do is take this and drag this up. Now, I already have one here, so this is the one I'm going to be using. Now, what you want to do is actually go out there and find articles that actually pertain to AI. The first place that I go, of course, is our own ByteVid Social, and there's reasons why I do this. is I'm actually going to go to the blogs of the people that are posting blogs, and I'm going to choose artificial intelligence. And I'm going to look through the different blogs that we have. So, for instance, we have this one. This one doesn't really have a picture or anything like that, but it's good. So we have one blog poster that posted our artificial intelligence. You can also go into technology, science and technology, and find out kind of what things, if there's anything in here that maybe not be picked up by the artificial or by the search, that may be something good, right? So you can choose one of these things, like maybe some blockchain. Maybe there might be some people talking about blockchain technology because blockchain is being married with AI, just like we did with our pin drop. It's being utilized. So those technologies really work well together. So let's go ahead and we'll just go ahead and get the artificial intelligence, which I already posted this particular one with, let's see here. So let's do artificial intelligence, and it's not coming up now. But anyways, so here's one that talks about Microsoft professionals. So I tell you what, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to use this particular blog. Now, granted, the reason why I'm using ByteVid Social is because it is our Fierce Global Foundation manages this. So this is actually going to help. So that's the first thing that I'm going to go to. But if you can't find any blogs that are directly related to what you're trying to sell, your product or service, then of course you can actually go out there on the internet and find news about it. So this is a news that people might be interested in. It was posted 31 minutes ago. That's good. So it's rather new, right? So we're going to go here. I'm just going to click this shorten URL link. It's going to pop up. And once the actual link shows up, then you know that it's been posted there in Fierce Links. But we're also going to do that for this one too. So we're going to have two of them. And I'm going to show you the reason why we like to use ByteVid Social. Okay, so now you can close out those. Those are your articles. Now you're going to go to the actual marketing tool, Fierce Links. You're going to go to your dashboard, and you're going to see that those two links are right there. So now I know the first thing you're going to want to do is push it out there, right? But that's not going to be what you're wanting to do. First of all, if you haven't set them up already, you want to set up your channel. So we're actually going to do channel. And since we're going to be posting to a group, all right, but that's what you would do. So you would set up a channel to that particular group. But for right now, we're just going to use not our groups. We're just going to just actually post on Facebook and LinkedIn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say Facebook. And since I'm going to be using the Fierce Technologies account, I'm just going to put Facebook Fierce Technologies. And you want to make sure the name says that, because I'll show you why we want to do that. And then, of course, you want to just put the description. This is Facebook, and this is on Fierce Technologies account. So we're just going to put that. All right, so we'll actually keep it black, but you can change that color. And we're actually going to star that because this is like a main channel that we always post to. All right, so you're also going to do that for LinkedIn. So we're going to say LinkedIn, and it's the main account that we're going to be posting to. So this is going to be LinkedIn main account. So, and then we're going to actually change that to a blue color, okay? And we're going to also star that, and we're going to create that channel. Now, you don't have to star it. If it's maybe something that you're not posting to that much, you can unstar that, and that way we'll keep it there. But these will be up here for your quick access here on the left under channels. And you can create as many channels as you want, or whatever your account allows you to. So there are limits on certain subscriptions. But if you have the big enterprise subscription, I believe it's called, you're going to be able to do as many channels as you want. All right, so now what we're going to do is the ones that we're going to use. So we're going to actually be posting to Facebook and LinkedIn on all those. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to edit your link. and you want to come down here and actually put it in those channels. All right. So then you can just update that link, right? So the other thing is you want to make sure once you do that, so we're just going to go ahead and that helps you manage your links better. So you can actually put them in channels, and you'll know that those are the ones that you want to actually paste it to. So you know you're going to be doing that. You haven't done it yet, so I would, it's up to you. You can either post them to it and then put them in there, your channels, but you definitely want to have your channels to start use your channels as a way to link management, okay? And it also helps out with statistics, which I'll show you, okay? So now we have these two. They haven't been posted out or anything like that. The first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that they work, right? So you can go to more info. You can actually look at the QR code, which creates for you. Or you can just copy the short link, put it in a tab, and make sure that it goes to that particular link. So you're just wanting to check out to make sure you link, because you don't want to, this is, you're wanting to build, and so people, because if you set out broken links out there, you're going to get a reputation, and your reputation's not going to be very good. So you want to make sure that, especially if you're posting your groups and people are getting to know you, you want to make sure that your reputation is well. So make sure that your links work for sure. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just check them to make sure they're good to go, and just make sure that they go directly to that. Okay. So what I do normally is, and you got a quick link right here to go ahead and post those out. So we're going to start out with ByteVid Social, right? And we're going to go ahead and post those out to Facebook, right? And it's going to go into the Fierce Technologies account. And definitely you want to basically, you want to talk about what the article is. Because, again, we're going to leave that for a minute. Again, when you go here, you want to make sure that you're talking about what article. So you can even copy their own thing, right? And if you don't know what would be best, the best thing is actually use Fierce AI to help you. Just go to Intelligent Mind, right? And say, Intelligent Mind, could you create me a post that's going to LinkedIn and Facebook that talks about this? And then paste what it is. There you go. And then once you send that to him, he's going to go ahead and do that for you, which is great. So we can even take the, if you don't want to use the emotion cons or whatever they're called, you don't have to, but you can. That looks good. So now we're going to take that, what he created, right? And he also puts in, the great thing about this is he puts in the hashtags for you, okay? So use that tool, right? So you're going to come in here to Fierce Links, and you're actually going to post that to Facebook, and you're going to put that right there on the top, and then you're going to post. Now, if you wanted to, you can post right in the group that you joined, okay? But we're not going to do that, but that would be something that you do. So we're just going to go ahead and look over that. That looks good. And we're just going to go ahead and make that post. Okay. We're going to actually do that same thing for LinkedIn. Okay. We're going to use the same topic or the same post. And this takes a little bit sometimes. So for whatever reason, some of that stuff is not working. And yeah, so that's not, oh, it just came up there, and I got too quick. So here you go. All right. So now we want to share that in a post. Okay. We want to paste that top part right there, and we want to make that post. Okay. And you can actually view the post, and you can test it out just by clicking it and making sure that it goes to the article, which it does. Okay. So that's it, man. And then what we're going to be able to do now is what makes Fierce links so powerful is that we're actually going to drop that there. And all right, so we don't need that or that. All right, we'll go back here now. Now what you're going to be able to do is when you actually click, see we already got 3 clicks here and we got 1 click here. So we're going to actually be able to click on that and be able to see how this link is performing. So we know that the article was about AI, right? So now the people that's clicking this link, now of course that a lot of clicks was myself, but whenever this link goes, you're going to be able to know that those people are people that are interested in your particular service, which is AI, right? So you can even look at the comments. So you can actually go to that post and find that in your actual social media. So you can actually go to your post, right? So I can actually go to that post right here, and I can kind of see it even has more information because LinkedIn also has, you know, its impressions and its stats. So we have 4 people, 4 impressions. You can actually look at the analytics here. So what you're doing is you're building up information. There's nobody commented on it, so it didn't really get high. But you'll notice that in groups, your links will actually perform better than anywhere else, because those are the people that's really interested in it. If you just post this on your timeline or on your wall, so to speak, you know, that's going to be people with mixed interest. And a lot of times they're not going to be interested in what you're trying to sell. You want to definitely streamline that to your target market, and your target market's going to be found in those groups. Most of the people are going to go into groups on the groups that they're interested in. So you're already going to have it done for you. Start using that, okay? Definitely use that. So now, as you get this built, right, you can now then start building CTAs later. Once you build a rapport in your groups, you can actually add CTAs. Now, I already have a CTA for Fierce Global Foundation, right? So we're going to go back to our link, and we're going to actually do this one here, because we know that ByteVid Social does links. Now, understand Fierce Links is still being worked on. And I know the developers are out there working their butts off trying to get this thing ready for launch, okay? So this may or may not work, because this part they were working on. So, but we're going to try it and see. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually edit this, and instead of our redirect going directly, we can actually direct them and do the Fierce Global Foundation, which is actually a CTA that asks them to sign up for a newsletter. So we're going to update that link. And then once that does it, and see, it does have a little problem. So this may or may not work. This problem was happening before when I went to update my link on a CTA. And it may even be that particular CTA. So we may change it to another one. I'm not really too sure. But this isn't looking too promising, because normally updating these links are really quick. But again, the developers are working on it. But you would be able to update these links. So what I'll do is I'll duplicate the tab. I will actually go back to the link itself, or actually links, and see. Yeah, so it's definitely having a problem again. But there are different things that you can do to your links, which we'll do for another an actual training. But for right now, I just wanted to kind of give you an idea. So the link has been updated now. That doesn't look good that it took that long to update that link. So I'm really not for sure even if this is going to work. But we're going to be, we're going to try to test that out and see. So let's just go back to the, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back to our dashboard. Okay, so so let's go ahead and drop that link and see if it actually goes, which it probably isn't going to, because, and these links will not be performing like this. There will be definitely, but again, like I said, the developers are definitely working on that. So we're trying to get that stuff fixed the best way we can. So this is definitely not going to that. Let's make sure that, so I know that we had another link here that we posted. So we don't want that one. So we only did the ByteVid social one. So let's go ahead and do the other link. I think that will help because this definitely is not working. And again, that's the developers that's doing that. So let's check this link to make sure to see if that's having a problem too. It looks like they all are. So yeah, they're working on them. So we're not going to be able to do that today on this training, unfortunately. Oh, wait a minute. All right. So yes, this went to it, but it didn't go to the article. It actually put us to the login button, which is probably because it's going, and that's another thing. If you're, I'm not really for sure how we did that, but anyways, your CTA does pop up here. They can sign up to subscribe, right? So I can subscribe to that, right? And thank you for subscribing. But it didn't go to the article though, which is kind of odd because, of course, we did do that article, right? And that one actually went, which is kind of odd. So they're definitely working on it. So I apologize for doing that, but you know, this should actually go to this article. But because they're actually working on it, which I'm not going to complain at all, we definitely want to leave them alone. But anyways, that CTA, you did see it work. You can actually go to the CTA itself and you can edit that, and you can actually see when you have this set up correctly, which is your webhook, which will go. So you collected one email, so you can actually download it from here, and we'll just open that up and we'll see that we have collected that email. Now you can bring that into Excel Mail and do email campaigns, but and you know, do your Fierce Global Foundation's newsletter. But we also have webhooks, which we'll talk about that later on. That's actually going to send that to your account on Excel Mail, so you won't have to ever download the CVS file and upload it, but it's there. Also, when you're developing a CTA, you do have, which we'll do in a training later, you do have different customizations and stuff like that, which is great. So we'll do a special on just CTAs and how they work for you and stuff like that. But what I wanted to do for this training, I don't want to do too long, so I'm getting ready to go. But understand, that's your first thing. And then also, of course, you'll be able to collect this important data that we're going to show you how you can use this important data to get your sales funnels working for you and making more sales. And we'll also show you, for instance, I'll just go ahead and show you now. We can also edit this link and take your, inside of your product, we can take your affiliate link, right? We're going to copy that affiliate link. And then every once in a while, if your link is working good for you and it's still got time, if it's not a time, I mean, you can set up an expiration time. If it doesn't have that and you're able to do that, you can run an A/B test on it. And what A/B test is, so I want them to direct to go to actual fierceai.io instead of going to, and I want to do that 20% of the time. So 20% of the clicks, it's going to calculate that, right? And what that's going to do is now it's going to go to actual Fierce AI itself if they click on that link. So the people that are looking at that article, they won't actually be directed to the article. You'll actually direct them to Fierce Links itself, or I'm sorry, fierceai.io itself, right? And that is branding. So you get a better chance of them signing up. They say, oh, wow, what's this? And then they go ahead and register, and you will actually get that commission. Okay. So you can actually do that to make that better for you. And again, the developers are definitely working on this. This will be a lot faster later on. So that's how that's going to work. Okay. So, and once this actually saves, which again, like I said, it's taken a really long time. Yep, there it goes. Link has been successfully updated. Okay. So, and another thing too, I probably should shut off that. I think that's got to do with my, but anyways, we'll do that later. But so I can actually now look at that link, right? And then every once in a while, whenever I click open that link, there's your STEM education, right? And it actually went here. So it's running your CTA, right? And it's also synonym to the actual Fierce AI. Now, it's not going to do that all the time. On certain clicks, it will. So this one is actually going, which I really, really am glad that that actually worked. Now, this one's probably going to the site itself because for some reason it's not going to the actual article, which is kind of odd. It's making them log in, which normally that doesn't do that. That may be a configuration thing, but we'll definitely look into that and see. But that's how that works, okay? So you'll be able to run your targets on certain things inside of Fierce Links. That will definitely help you. And we got 6 clicks. Some of them clicks are mine. But again, you're going to be able to look and see who's all using what. Platforms, browser, language that they speak. So you know that you can target certain languages. Now we have our A-B testing. So our A-B testing, we had one that went to, and that was us, that went actually to Fierce AI. So now you're able to see how many people are actually going to Fierce AI. And then you can go back there and check inside of your product. You can actually check your affiliate link and see if anybody has signed up, which will come down here. So this will be what you're, and then of course you can withdraw your amount. And that's it for our training today, guys. I hope you have more fun with setting up these programs, start doing your marketing, and go out there and make some sales, but also create mutualism. Alrighty, I'm checking out.